And we're cutting across to breaking news coming in. Delhi court has reserved the order on the ED plea seeking 10 days custodial interrogation of Manish Sisodia. This is the latest that is coming in for former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, who was arrested late last evening at about 6:20 p.m. The ED was seeking 10-day custody of Manish Sisodia, which, remember, the Delhi Rouse Avenue Court has reserved the order on, which means that Manish Sisodia still stays in judicial custody. Twice that he has been questioned by the ED in Tihar jail, and now the latest where Delhi court has reserved the order on the ED plea seeking 10 days custodial interrogation of Manish Sisodia. Shravan Sen is with me on the phone line. Shravan, now what happens? Sisodia goes back to Tihar jail, judicial custody continues. Tomorrow is also his bail plea that is to be heard. And throw more light on the arguments made by both sides in the court, where Manish Sisodia's lawyer said that this does not make for a case for the ED, and the ED said that Sisodia has been evasive, hence they wanted his custody.
Well, as far as his bail order is concerned, that has now been reserved. The hearing has been adjourned to 21st of March. Remains to be seen how soon perhaps the court will basically come to a conclusion with regards to the custody that has now been sought by the Enforcement Directorate. It's a 10-day custody that has been sought by the Enforcement Directorate, in which the Enforcement Directorate during the argument has essentially put out fresh evidence against the then Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. In fact, they say that right now they've come across evidence to suggest that the profit margin was deliberately changed from 5% to 12% because they believe that 6% was the kickback that was allegedly received by the Aam Aadmi Party. That is argument number one. Argument number two is the fact that the draft policy was leaked by Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia to the South Group. In fact, they have digital evidence to that effect. Now remember, as far as Manish Sisodia's lawyers are concerned, they have argued in the court that there is absolutely no need for a custodial interrogation. They've highlighted the fact that from the time that the investigation was being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate, not once was he summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. The question that the lawyers are essentially asking, what is the sudden need at this point in time?
Oh yes, absolutely, Shravan, and this is important because now what happens next with Manish Sisodia, exactly how you were saying that the Aam Aadmi Party has been on the defensive front, saying that there are no serious allegations against Manish Sisodia. This is nothing but political vendetta. Also, when talking about the 100 crore rupees kickbacks that the ED had mentioned in court, Manish Sisodia's lawyer also went on to say that there have been no proceeds of crime that have been found out by the ED, or there is any evidence. Also, the very fact that Manish Sisodia is not cooperating with the agency is what is being said, which is the very reason why ED was wanting to take custody of Sisodia. But really what happens next is a point of contention, because the bail plea that is also to be heard, and this was also a point that was taken by Sisodia's lawyer, where he went on to say that just a day before the bail plea to be heard, why is it that ED wants custody of Manish Sisodia? This is of course coming as there were some very pointed allegations made by the ED, where they also went on to say that the draft excise policy was tweaked by former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, and the out of 32 liquor retail zones in the national capital, 9 were put in favor of the South Group, which is a cartel that comprises of politicians, businessmen and several others who were favoured by the very tweaking of this draft excise policy, is what is being alleged by the ED. But important now to understand that the order has been reserved by the Delhi Rouse Avenue Court. Swapnil Kothari is with me on the phone line. Swapnil, help us understand what happens for Sisodia next, because the bail plea is to be heard tomorrow. The order on ED custody has been reserved. He was technically in judicial custody for 14 days. What next for Sisodia if he is granted bail tomorrow? And this order, of course, stands reserved.
Well, I believe this order, if it stands reserved, and if I don't know for how long has the judge reserved the judgment. I assume that within a day or two he'll have to give, and if the bail comes through, then it's over. So pretty much. But if the bail doesn't come through, then we'll both the orders. There has to be some reason for denying the bail tomorrow, which I'm sure the court may not grant the bail immediately tomorrow, Suisha. So I believe that, we'll have to wait for both the, one, there is the hearing that takes place tomorrow on bail, and one, this custody aspect. So let's see what the judge orders. But I believe that today's order will at least go in favor of the agency for some days.
In fact, Swapnil, let me quickly tell you that the court has said that due to the lack of time, the bail application is directed to be listed on the 21st of March at 2 p.m. The court has reserved the order on Manish Sisodia's ED custody remand. The court has listed Manish Sisodia's bail and CBI case for hearing on the 21st of March. So both CBI and ED on the 21st of March is when the hearing will resume.
Okay, got it. So, well, then CBI will deal with its own bail application there. Possibly CBI and ED will work in tandem together. Both will give, materials to each other and ensure that this man doesn't get the bail. And this custody order today we'll see as and when it comes. Maybe within a day or two, I think it should come. But until then, he has to cool his heels in judicial custody that he is in. And maybe within a day or two, we'll get to know as to what, today being Friday, I believe then by Monday at least we should get, because tomorrow I believe is not a court working day. So maybe by Monday we should get this order, or unless the judge is going to, pass this order within the next half an hour or so, then I don't know. But I think he should. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't pass an order.
So does this mean, Swapnil, that he goes back to Tihar jail till the 20th of March, where he remains in judicial custody, and
no,
as far as the court hearing is concerned, it resumes on the 21st.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a different thing. But this judicial custody, this custody order which has been reserved today could be given on Monday. Suppose he doesn't get the, the ED doesn't agree to that custody and says, no, we don't buy your arguments. We don't believe that you have a fit case, and says that, sorry, we are not granting him in no custody. Then he'll remain in the judicial custody of the CBI that he has been in. But this ED custody, ED will not be, getting the benefit of that custodial interrogation. I doubt it, because then the court will say, sorry, we don't give you any custody, whether judicial or ED custody, police custody will not give it to you. So, although I doubt that, I'm sure the enforcement directorate will have something in its hands to say at least 2-3 days of custody, whether it's judicial or whether it's ED custody. But I believe this man will have to remain at least until the 20th of March in either of the custodies, until the bail application is heard.
Right.
So it's not an easy task.
Also, the very fact that for both the agencies, CBI and AD, the case will be heard on the 21st of March. How is that expected to pan out?
Well, both will work in tandem, and we'll only pray to God that rather his lawyers will be only praying to God that something works in their favor, because both of them are after him. And if they have materials in hand, then, the bail is not going to be easily granted, because, you see, these are PCA and PMLA cases. So when it's PCA, which is Prevention of Corruption Act, and PMLA, then the onus pretty much lies also on the accused to show that I was not involved in money laundering. It's not like a rape case or a murder case where I can keep my mouth shut and the prosecution has to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Here, this is a case of a fiscal offense. So see, here, the defense lawyer also has to show that, look, by the way, I did not do this and I did not do that. It's like a simple thing. Suppose I get an income tax notice or I get raided. I cannot just keep my mouth shut and I say, sorry, you look into my house where you can find documents. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to sit in one chair. It doesn't work like that. I have to show that this is where the documents are and I have not evaded income. So these are fiscal offenses where the burden of proof pretty much lies on you on NDPS Act, MCOCA, PCA, PMLA, or draconian legislation, where there is enough burden of proof lies on the accused also. So the defense lawyers have a tough task ahead to ensure that they give some plausible defense in favor of Mr. Sisodia, especially in the light of the liquor barons and the South cartel connection, etc., and all of those things, so as to avoid bail, so as to get the bail. But I don't think, the bail is going to be granted that easily. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it even on the 21st of March. I'm sure it's going to be a fisticuff. It's going to be legal fisticuffs. But, at the end of the legal fisticuffs, I believe that the agencies have a slightly upper hand. Not a slightly, but maybe a little bit more than slightly.
All right. Swapnil Kothari, many thanks for speaking to us on this. Also with us on the phone line is Shehzad Poonawala of the BJP. Shehzad, firstly, the BJP has been upping the ante against the Aam Aadmi Party, saying that fight this legally.